Once upon a time, I was praying. Why was I praying? I was praying because I noticed, I saw my grandfather. He was like 100 and something years old. He never used a walking stick. He had a straight back. In fact, he was begging to die. He had good eyesight, no spectacles. My granddad begging to die. I knew my grandmother, 90 years old, not sickly, not in the hospital, strong. Then my granddad died. And when my grandmom heard he had died, she died. That was a great love life. Hallelujah. So they buried them side by side. This my grandfather I'm talking about, he married 5 wives. But at the end of the day, it was his first wife that lived with. The rest had died. So the Django man, his first wife, stayed with him to care for him, and the knowledge of his death led to her own death. Jesus. Do you realize that after that man died, till this day that I speak to you, nobody in my family has been able to live up to 70 years. Meanwhile, I saw him at what? 100. Oh, do these things bother you at all? Do they bother you? Or they don't bother you? So I said I wanted to find out why there was untimely death in my family. And I was going to keep the watches until I hear an announcement from God about the issue of untimely death in my family. I was a youth corper, posted to Kano. My residence was at Bompai Police Barrack. So when the footballers finish training on the football field and they leave, that's when my prayer starts. There was only one reason why I was on that pitch. Moving from one goal post to another goal post. From one goal post to another goal post. Why was I there? I wanted to find out why there was untimely death in my family. I'm praying today that meanwhile, are you there? Are you with me? Now, listen to me. Before I was determined to know the mind of God concerning the untimely death in my family, I didn't know the experience of what it means for you to seek God and get a response from him before that time. You get that? I didn't know how God was going to answer me, but I read my Bible. I found out that our God is literate, our God is alive, our God speaks, and our God answers. And that was enough for me. That guideline was enough for me. And I came to the football field and I prayed in tongues from one goalpost to the other goalpost. And I said, Jehovah, if you are there, hear my cry. I want to know why people don't live long in my family. You have enlisted among the watchmen. Only the watchmen ask questions. The first secret of spiritual intelligence, I will say it again and again until you hear it. God does not speak much. He only answers much. Only people that come to him seeking to know, seeking spiritual intelligence, seeking insight. When you begin to desire insight, he becomes proud of you. Because that's the way to ascend the mountain of grace. And I began to call upon him. Why do people die early? My dad was young. He was just 62. He had excelled. 62 years cut off. You will hear this, my uncle has died 64, 65, 61. So I said, you know, when you see a pattern, then an intelligence is involved. So I had to go to the hill of the Lord. And I began to pray. First night, second night. And guess what? The answers were not forthcoming, so I now added fasting. Sometimes you need to add spices to your endeavor. You want to go to Boko and your car dies at Wanune. It's not because it has problem. There's no fuel. Just push it. Please help me tell your neighbor, put fuel. Abakorima. I cried out.